What is up? Coming to you live from the cat house. It's once again time for another episode of Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. The Monday edition, the May 18th edition, episode 174. Almost consecutively. Ironically, we missed episode 37 in a row. That was the episode that caused us to miss consecutively that 1 week, that fun fateful day back in 2017. But you know what? We've been consecutive ever since. That puts us almost at 150 episodes in a row. Hey, we're doing good. How are you guys doing? I'm doing great. Relatively speaking, work is calming down. My little boy over here on my left was adorable all weekend. Oh my Lord, this little dude, this little bundle of smiles. I love this little guy right here, and I love my wife. I love my little family. We're doing good in the midst of this crazy. You know what else is good? After last week's show, we picked up two brand new patrons, bringing us to a grand total of 3. But you know what? We have 3 patrons now. Not only do we have Daniel Wong, but now we also have Ryan Tanaka and Arturo S. Our 3 patrons. And what that means, folks, if these gentlemen are kind enough to continue to contribute, this means that as far as our audio goes, the show is now self-sustained. This will cover the audio costs of posting this on the internet everywhere. As far as, for the podcasting, whatever the costs I have to pay for in regards to SoundCloud. So this is amazing. So I wanted to make sure I let off the show thanking Ryan and Art, and of course Daniel, who's been our patron for a very long time now. We now have 3 patrons. It's awesome. And what does this mean for the rest of you? This is good. It means the show can continue. And if any, I'm not going to be here begging, but I'm here to incentivize. If anyone else should decide to help contribute, throw money into the Patreon, that just means we're gonna have more stuff. We'll have more stuff. I will be able to do more things. I guess the first idea I thought, if we start getting more money, more than what I need for the operations of the show, obviously I want to set some aside to upgrade things like our camera and our other things. But if we start to get more patrons, I'm gonna start doing some giveaways to the patrons. We're going to start getting some stuff. If there's a little surplus of money, I'll take that little surplus, go down to the big old warehouse that I work at, pick out some games and be like, all right, a patron raffle. Get the people who are patrons will be able to get themselves some games or something like that. Something to that effect, to incentivize. I know our 3 current patrons are contributing out of the kindness of their heart, but I want to be able to reward them. And we're trying to come up with some rewards. Of course, I want to try to figure out and carve out some time to create some exclusive content for our awesome patrons who are now helping keep this show going. It's a burden has been lifted off of me, thanks to Daniel and now Art and Ryan, who I'll have to thank. I'm going to thank them every week for helping out the show. And speaking of helping out the show, Art, who is watching right now, I see he's watching live among whomever else is watching, because I know the stat counter up here tells me how many people are watching. I know it's never correct. It's never the full amount of people who are watching. But thanks to Art, we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about on today's show. So obviously the pandemic, COVID-19, that's always going to be the specter that's looming over us all the time. And I know I've seen it affect my job in a certain way, where it causes everybody to buy games. But Art has sent me an article from the Washington Post, which really detailed how the gaming industry has both benefited and been affected by the pandemic. And I wanted to cover some of this stuff, of course, with my perspective from working in video game distribution and wholesale and all the stuff that I do. We get to see this stuff myself, and we get to see some hard numbers, some of the crazy numbers. Like, first, game sales are incredibly up. Obviously, everyone is stuck at home. I've been coming on here every week talking about, oh my God, our volume we're a big video game distributor out here in Southern California that I work at, and our volume has gone up tenfold Like normally we process a certain number of orders. We do 10. We were especially at the peak of it. We're doing 10 to 15 times that every day, and it's across the board. I guess like a lot of our competitors are also selling a lot of stuff, and Amazon was clearly running out of games. Everyone's running out of games. We're starting to run out of certain games because apparently there's $1.6 billion in game sales in the last quarter, with a B, billion. That's holiday numbers happening in the first quarter of the year. That's it's unheard of. There hasn't been this much video game volume in this quarter since the big video game boom of around 2007 2008 when the Wii and the PS3 and the 360 really caught fire across not just regular gamers but also casual gamers. There hasn't been like this since that time when gaming was huge. Ironically, during the recession, I guess when people need cheap entertainment, they go straight to video games, which are not that cheap. But hey, people spend what they want to spend on. Like one of the biggest companies that benefited from this situation was Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch is virtually sold out everywhere. They're coming up 35% higher than last year. And Animal Crossing, New Horizons for the Switch, the most unlikely game, that is now their biggest launch of all time. They sold 11 million copies within a week or two. That's one of the biggest launches for them. And as far as, and then digitally, it's the biggest digital game of all. Most digital game sales in 1 month of all time. It beat the Call of Duty 4, which held the record before of most digital sales in 1 month. Because I guess people couldn't find the game at stores, or they couldn't go to stores and buy it. So they had to buy it digitally for their Switches. And with the Switches they could barely find, they are really raking in. But unfortunately right now they can't produce any Switches at the moment. Or whatever they are producing, a lot of it's just staying in Japan. I think there's still a lot of Switch Lites out there, but the standard Switch, the one that everybody really wants, the one you can connect to your TV and carry with you anywhere you go. This is everyone's wants this model, and it's hard to find. And if you do see one online, it's going for 2 to 3 times its retail value. It's insane right now. Even streaming, because people are stuck at home, and sometimes they're not playing, but they're watching games. Twitch is up 50% in views. There was some sort of some artist who I've never heard of had a concert on Twitch, and there was like 11 million people watching it. Just watching a concert happening in Twitch. It's out of control. The PC the PC game store Steam. There's various points during this pandemic. They've had 20 million concurrent users logged in at the same time. Because if you can't go out, you can't leave your house, you play some games. We've been noticing at work, this whole pandemic is causing casual gamers or lapsed gamers. These are terms that people like to use for people who used to game, or especially, like I said, during that the previous gen, and during Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360, or even previous generations. That people are finding their old systems, dusting them off, and playing them because now they have this time that they didn't have before. See, I'm a freshly minted parent. I don't have this time, but all these other people are finding time now, and they're buying games from older systems. At my job, we're selling old games. We're selling old accessories. We're selling every controller imaginable because people are finding that their old controllers are working or they can't find them. So they're trying to find Xbox 360 controllers. They're trying to find Wii remotes. They're trying to find PS3 remotes. We're selling all these accessories. We're selling old cables because people need cables to connect either to their old TVs or they need an adapter to connect their old system to a new TV. It's insane, like the amount of weird items that we normally don't sell are selling. See right there, Arturo right here on Facebook Live. He just beats Pokemon Sword, and he hasn't had that much time in 3 years. I mean, you had been working full time and also raising a young child. You haven't had a lot of free time, but I guess now it's. I know the pandemic got your job. So you've had some free time on your hands. a lot of people are finding free time, and I keep laughing. We're starting to post up. We're selling a bunch of old N64 games, and they're going out the shelves. I think, what was it? We had to service a whole bunch of old Maddens for N64. My coworker Chris was like, "Why are we selling so much of this old crappy game?" Because people are or looking for something, maybe from their past. Like, there's a lot of these lapsed gamers or old gamers who are like cracking open their systems, and they don't want to play the newest thing. They're all right. They want to play what they know. That's why we sell a bunch of we're selling a bunch of Wii Sports for the Wii. We sell a bunch of Madden footballs for N64. People are looking for. Oh, hello. I wonder if the microphone picked that up. Oh, hello. Hello, Ty. You doing good over there, boy? Look at that big old smile on your face. Pete, you're gonna come get him, honey? Yeah, because he just had his afternoon constitutional. Or evening, I should say evening constitutional right now. You got a big smile on your face after that one, don't you, young man? The boy's a chip off the old block. But I was saying, people are buying up we're posting all these old titles that normally would not have been selling before, but people are buying up Wave Race for the N64. People are buying up the old Mario games for the NES, because people are they're digging through the garages. They have nowhere to go. And so, all right, cool. Find the old systems. Oh, they need a new the number one thing we keep selling for the old systems are RF units, because these old systems don't have HDMI, or the TVs, or the old systems don't have HDMI, and these TVs sometimes they don't have your composite cables, your white, yellow, red cables. But you know what every TV still has? It has the old connection for cable. The little coaxial thing. And for your old systems, you can still plug them in. It's going to look like crap. I know a lot of my technophile friends will say, "Oh, it's going to look terrible." You know what? A lot of these people, these casual or lapsed gamers, they're not going to care about how it looks as long as they're enjoying themselves. They can play some Super Mario 3 on their television. Ironically, me and my wife, we were playing some Super Mario 3, but we were playing it through my Nintendo Switch this past weekend. I just had to... I had an itch I need to scratch. I wanted my little boy to hear the beautiful 8-bit musical sounds of Super Mario 3. I'll see you right there. Irv Napatampa on Facebook Live. Too much time, nowhere to go. Yeah. And it worked. We're selling all kinds of old games. It's like the amount of old... I keep talking about we sell a lot of old Just Dance, but the amount of old Call of Duty games. Look at that little man over there. The old Call of Duty games, Activision they're experiencing server overload of people who are jumping online for these older lapsed titles that they've kind of kept the servers up. But where are all these people coming from? My friend Lamar was laughing because last week, Epic, the people who bring you Fortnite, through their Epic Game Store, they decided, we're going to offer for a few days, you can get, as long as you download the Epic Games launcher, you could play Grand Theft Auto 5 for free. And I think our good friend Lamar posted up a GIF of SpongeBob with the entire Krusty Krab on fire and him trying to blow it out. That's the server room right now at the Epic Games launcher store. People, what? Grand Theft Auto 5 for free? Even though it's, however many years old. Hey, free game is free game. And people, they crashed the Epic Game Store. The day they announced this, hey, just out of the blue, it's like, hey, we're just going to give away GTA 5 for free. And some of you may say, why would anyone want that old game? People are still playing it, and I can tell you, as a major distributor, we still sell a lot of copies of that game for old system. We sell a lot of it on PS3, on 360, and on PS4 and Xbox One. That game's, honestly, I think it sells more on the older systems than it does on the newer systems. Ironically, because that's what people want. And like I said, people find, hey, I played with PS3 12 years ago. Let me get that out. It was really a sobering thought when I was thinking about, the PS3 came out, if I recall correctly, that was 2006. That was 14 years ago. The same week as the Nintendo Wii. And the Xbox 360 came out in 2005, right when I was jumping ship from GameStop to Nintendo. The 360 came out. And these, apparently out there, these systems, if they're functioning, they're still going strong, and people are buying up the games. I sorted somewhere in the realm of 800 360 games today. I was just oh my god, who's buying the hip hop dance experience? Who's buying Modern Warfare trilogy? Who's buying Black Ops trilogy? Good God, who's buying Snoopy's Amazing Adventure for Xbox 360? I don't know. The one that kept confusing me was Smurf's Dance Party for the Nintendo Wii. We're just selling that one like crazy. We've gone through like 100 copies in the last 8 weeks. The Art, oh geez, you were 16, Art, and your PS3 runs great. Yeah, these older systems, my 360, I busted out my 360 the weekend before. Still works. That's technically my second 360, as my first one experienced the wonderful red Ring of Doom from way back in the day. Art, so you get nostalgic though. So the PS2 startup theme, the PS1 startup theme gets me every time. I get the hairs on the back of my neck. I currently have that anniversary theme on my PS4. So whenever I fire up my PS4 to watch a movie, I hear that PS1 startup sound, and I'm like, ooh. See, PS2 for you when you were younger, like it was PS1 for me because I'm an old man. Oh, Daniel Wong. I believe we almost have all three of our patrons here. We have Daniel, we have Art, and as soon as Ryan is able to, I guess, get away from his son or get his son under control, I'm sure he'll join us as well. We'll have all three patrons on at the same time. Yeah, Daniel, there you have some fellow patrons. I'm sure you know. I think you saw the post on our Patreon page. So I've gone on a wonderful tangent here of video games. But yeah, all this stuff is going on. Game sales are up, but so the coronavirus is helping on one hand, but on the other hand, ironically, the coronavirus is boosting all this stuff because people can't do anything else. But what on the other side, on the development side and the shipping side, right now, game development is slowing down because the people who make the games can't go into their offices. Many of them have to work remotely, which I'm sure many of you will be like, oh, that shouldn't be a problem. Do everything remotely. But a lot of times, you're working with assets, the programs that you're working on, or honestly, even the computers, the machines you're working on. Sometimes you can't just take those from your work and bring them to your home. And the data that you're working on can be very sensitive. You're handling source code, and you can't just be transferring that across the internet from your house, from your work to your home. So it's been causing a lot of problems for a lot of game developers. A lot of games have been getting delayed. That big Keanu Reeves Cyberpunk game that got delayed. The pandemic game, The Last of Us 2, that took a walk backwards. Even Nintendo was saying that the Smash Brothers team, they're supposed to be cranking out a whole bunch of downloadable content. They're putting out more characters, but they have to slow that down because all the developers have to work from home. And Nintendo is very much they don't think it's right there. Art just said right now on Facebook Live, NDAs come down like banhammers. Yeah, you can't be taking that stuff and showing it to people. You're supposed to be working on it in the office, so that's been causing problems. And of course, we have shipping delays, trying to get your stuff out. Right now, we have to warn a lot of our customers when we're shipping out stuff like, hey, you may get a delay here or there. Our friend of the show, Caleb, he got lucky that he ordered a copy of RE2 from us, and we sent it out to him, and he got it in a timely manner. But you don't know if we're ordering stuff or sending out stuff. Yeah, so Art just told us, BioWare has a whole 6 people working on Anthem's live support. Woof. That's insane. That's insane. The live support team. If you know what live support is, the people that have to literally keep the game working, because all these games as a service or games like an Anthem or a Destiny or these wannabe MMOs or these open world games, they have to have people working on them constantly because it's just a ongoing code hell. And then it's just telling us there's only 6 people. This is usually a team of 20 or 30 that has to maintain things. It's out of control. Something else, console parts. Right now, Nintendo is experiencing, like I mentioned earlier, Nintendo's experiencing issues with the Nintendo Switch because, all right, they assemble them all in Japan, but they have to outsource the parts, and the parts come from other countries. They have to get every single little piece that it's in this little switch. They have to get it from all over the place, and sometimes their suppliers, they might not be available. Like one of the big a lot of times a lot of these parts come from China, and right now a lot of those factories are not operating at 100% efficiency. That article that Art sent us talks about how some of these factories that produce parts are only at 40% efficiency, so they can only get you so many. Like if you need 5 million parts immediately, oh sorry, we can get you 2 million. So that's the best we can do right now. We're only at 40% capacity. So that's why you're seeing it's harder and harder to get a system. And we're supposed to have 2 brand new systems come out this year, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, which sounds like a car model. I'm not picking PS5 over Xbox. I just like making fun of the weird names that Xbox always has to do. They got to Xbox Original, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. They're high all the time. But these console launches are as far as their PR teams go, they say, oh no, we're still on track. But I imagine behind the scenes, there's a lot of worrying. There's a lot of like hoping, like, oh, can we get all these things an adequate amount manufactured in time for whatever the launch date is going to be, whenever they announce what date they're going to try to launch before the holiday window. And will people be able to physically buy them in a store? Are they going to have to order them all from Amazon? Or if GameStop still even exists 6 months from now? It's just insane. I was hearing today that GameStop's, with some of the restrictions being lifted here and there throughout the states, they're starting to reopen a lot of their stores. So we'll see how that goes. If they can benefit from this pandemic, who knows what's going to happen? But it's just it's frightening to think all this stuff that is happening. That there's good. I'm telling you, I've been. Irv, our other contributor today, he was sending me some of the same articles that I was telling me about the game sales being up. Game sales, it's insane. It's unheard of the amount of game sales that are going out, and it's like it's funny. My boss keeps joking like, well, our sales keep going up because a lot of our competitors are running out of product, but because we stock so much that's where we're benefits. Like suddenly this past week or last week going into this week, random game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We weren't selling it very much. We have a lot of copies. We have thousands of copies of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But all of a sudden, last Thursday, Friday, boom. It's like, oh, see on the list, I got to go get 50 of those. What? Starting to sell. And then boom, this morning, whoop, got to go pull another 45. I'm like, everyone else who had it, whoever or whichever of our competitors had it for less, they're probably out. And now they have to come to us. Sorry, you have to buy it from us. Whatever. When you have to go on Amazon or Walmart or whatever, there's all these third-party sites, eBay, are they have to go to us now. And now we are starting to sell a lot of these games, which I never imagined we'd be selling. We have thousands, like I said, some of the games we have thousands of copies of. I'm like, well, I guess we're stuck with these for the rest of our lives. And nope. Like my boss said, hey, eventually all this stuff sells. We had 5,000 copies of Animal Crossing Wii. They're gone. They're all gone. We sold them all in the last 8 weeks. Gone. People who couldn't get their hands on New Horizons, we sold them out. It was like 50 to 100. Like at some points, it was like 50 to 100 a day. We're like, well, gone. Out the door. Goodbye. I see the old pallet location. I'm like, look, this is where Animal Crossing city folk used to be. It's insane. It's the stuff that like I was like, oh, like well a year ago I'm like, wow, when were you? We're just stuck with this game. Like we rarely even sell it. Who's gonna want to buy an old game from the Wii? Apparently, about 4,000 or 5,000 people did. They wanted to get their Animal Crossing fix on the older system. It goes without saying, whatever copies of 3DS Animal Crossing we had, blew those out too. We have no Animal Crossings at all. And when people were buying from us left and right, we're just like, oh, shipping them all out, get them all out of the warehouse. It's out of control. See, backlogged gamers. Hey, see, if I did not have a child, I'd probably be playing a lot of video games right now. I'm sure I'd be finishing Kingdom Hearts 3, or what else? I'm trying to think of what else is in the backlog. You know what? Let's just look at the backlog right here. Just my Switch backlog alone, I'd probably be knocking out. I'd probably be knocking out Zelda, or trying to, and then probably after that, be working on Ultimate Alliance 3, which this is one of the last games I bought for my Switch. And then probably, Bloodstained. Yeah, the one I supported on Kickstarter so long ago, back when it was a Wii U game. I'd probably be playing those and knocking those out. But, gotta raise a kid. There's barely any time. We carve out a little time on the weekends, so Daddy doesn't go insane. But all these other people backlog. Something else that the article that Art sent us really covered, and that's something I've been talking about a lot. I mentioned earlier, a lot of people like, they want to play old games. We sold a lot of Madden. We're selling a lot of old sports games. We're selling all these obscure college football games, college basketball games. We're selling old games. We're selling a lot of sports games on the PSP. We're selling baseball games on the PlayStation Vita. We're selling it's just insane. We're running out of NASCAR games for the Xbox 360. What's happening is there's the video games are providing a substitution for what people either can't go outside and play, or they can't watch sports, so they're gonna just play sports. Oh, see, Red Dead 2. That's another game it's in my backlog. See, Art is telling us that next year's Madden might not be Madden. It probably will be like NFL something or other, NFL Prime Time, or some other weird word that they'll probably plug in instead of Madden if they don't use Madden's likeness. Yeah, it's all these people are just buying up, and it's funny, we're selling all these old sports games. Old sports games. Does that make you laugh over there, Tiger? Old sports games. Yeah, we sold out of Madden 09 for the Xbox 360. We had hundreds of copies, and I was like, wait, they're all gone? So now we're selling out Madden of 08 for the PlayStation 2. It's what? People... NBA 2K won't have full stats. Hell, they canceled the WWE 2K game. I mean, for more reasons than just the pandemic, because the last game was bad. It's insane how all the virtual leagues are now taking over. Where the NBA, I keep seeing on social media, they've been promoting their 2K league of all these gamers who they're playing it online against each other. And we've talked about before on the show, NASCAR. Up until recently, they were doing virtual races where the actual drivers have their VR rigs set up at home, and they were literally racing online using an official NASCAR PC game. And NBA Live's canceled again. That game keeps getting canceled. For whatever reason, EA can't get their proverbial crap together in regards to NBA Live. It's such a tragedy, because I was actually joking with my boss today, because we sold a copy of NBA Showdown 94 for the Sega Genesis. I was telling my boss how I remember renting that game from old Game Stuff in Monterey Park, and then the following year saving up my birthday money and my allowance to go out and buy NBA Live 95. I was like, yeah, buy that for my Genesis. Hell yeah. I was balling it up. And just laughing. I was just like, oh wow, these old sports games I used to buy. Yeah, I bought it for Genesis 95, 96, and I believe 97. And then I believe from 98 on, I think I moved on to PlayStation 1. My work website, if you're looking for games, I'll tell you, go to Amazon.com and search for Deal Tavern. Or if you don't want to shop on Amazon, you can go to eBay and search for Deal Tavern. That's the website. And then if you're a wholesaler, there's another website for that too. If you want to start your own. Also, wait, they're canceling NBA Live again to get things right. Return 22. Haven't they done that twice? Haven't they already cancel the game before because we need to retool things because we put the hockey people in charge of a basketball game. Like, why? Why are you putting hockey people in charge of because the hockey game was award winning. The EA NHL games were award winning games. So like, hey, these guys that know hockey, let's put them on basketball. What? That's illogical. Illogical. It makes no sense to me. Now, I forgot if I covered this last. I don't know if it was announced after the show. As always, a lot of cool stuff happens on Tuesdays after we record the show. I believe it was announced last week. We're getting Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. They're doing a remaster of these classic skateboarding games for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So if you're not familiar with the Tony Hawk series, it was an amazing skateboarding game back on the original PlayStation. I logged many hours playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on my PlayStation. That was so great. And the most important thing about these games, honestly, it wasn't the gameplay. The most important thing about these old PlayStation 1 Tony Hawk games was the music. Rage Against the Machine's Guerrilla Radio. Dun, 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 dun. I just felt my blood pressure go up a little bit just thinking about some of the songs, like that weird Power Man 5000 song. This is what it's like when worlds collide. Because I played the game so much, you just hear these songs. I was saddened to learn that I believe that I think the Public Enemy song is not going to make it into the remasters. There was a handful of songs that I guess they couldn't work out a licensing agreement from the original games to the new one, but they got a lot of the songs that people will recognize. I don't know them by the names on their list, but I'm sure when I fire it up or if I get my PS3 out and play my OG PS1 and PS1 copies, I start hearing that music because I think I streamed some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. That was like, oh my god, the music so good. Yeah. The video games back then. See, like right now, James Jones just talked about Crazy Taxi had an awesome soundtrack. Oh, I remember the Offspring song and freaking Crazy Taxi. I was like, Will Gerardo asks, hello, how is the baby? The baby is awesome. Apparently he loves watching me talk. See, Art says, the first time I heard half of those songs until Guitar Hero. Yeah. Like a lot of those, because of both Activision, I'm sure they had licensing agreements with a lot of songs. They could put them all in Guitar Hero. The music was so important to Tony Hawk Pro Skater because it wasn't just, it kind of lent to the credibility of the game. It was just awesome game, but amplified by the soundtrack, and they confirmed that most of the songs are going to come back with this remaster. Not all of them, unfortunately. Won't be able to bring the noise. That was the Public Enemy song that was on the Tony Hawk game.
The white noise.
Huh?
The white noise.
No noise. Bring the noise.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was the big announcement that happened last week. So, this young man needs me. So we're going to wrap up the show right now. Abbreviated show. I mean, again, without being able... That one more thing I want to talk about. This past weekend, I got to use Zoom for the first time. We had a meeting for the East LA Comic Con, so I got to see how Zoom worked. So what I was going to put out to some of our wonderful viewers here is that I'm going to try to make some Zoom content, but I don't think I can stream Zoom live, but we can record Zoom. So if anybody wants to do a Zoom call with me and we can talk about whatever nerd stuff, we can do like a quick 5-10 minute segment. I can post those up here on Facebook. I can record them, post them up here on Facebook, post them on Instagram, post them on YouTube, and try to provide some more content for you guys. And that way we can do some more interactive content. If any, I'm sure if I ask Jai, I'm sure he'll be more than happy. I don't know if Jai is still watching. I saw he was in here earlier. And anyone else, if you want to jump into a Zoom call, I'll create some. I already created my Zoom account. So that way we can create some content during the week. Just real quick, 5-10 minute talks about whatever topic. If something cool happens, and if you guys, and then we can kind of do the weekly nerd news. Oh, and you want to do a pro wrestling segment? We can do that as well. We can zoom in. A lot of stuff's been happening in professional wrestling. On a sadder note, I literally learned 3 hours ago. One of my favorite pro wrestling writers literally just passed away today. I've listened to his podcast for the last 6 months, and I've been reading his articles for about 6 months. A gentleman by the name of Larry Zonka, not the football player, but he just suddenly passed away today, and it was really like kind of shook me, because listened to his podcast and read all his stuff, and it's like, yeah, one of the best pro wrestling writers out there, just suddenly just gone, and his family hasn't said anything. It's just insane. Just really, it shook me earlier. As a podcaster and a pro wrestling fan, but yeah, if you annulate, or if Irv, you want to like make fun of WWE, and Shad Gaspard, that's right, he disappeared. He got pulled in by the Riptide, and they haven't been able to find him. It's been a crazy day for pro wrestling as well. So any of you want to continue, want to be a contributor? I'm sure Art, I'm sure you're rocking it ready. If you want to jump on and do some gaming talk via Zoom, we can figure that out. Do a quick 10-minute sesh, record it on Zoom, and I can take that video and post it up on all of our social media here. That way, it makes things a little bit easier to provide content where it's just not just my face here, not just me talking to the wall, or talking to my son, if you guys can hear him in the background being all adorable. Yeah, he really dug a lot of the Mario 3 music, but he did not like the music, the Bowser music. He did not like the Bowser music. He was very unhappy. He was a little unhappy and maybe a little scared. I don't know. He could tell the music was very negative. Like when I was inside one of the castles, like dun, 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 dun. He was not happy. He was not a happy camper. Like the other, I was in a lot of World 6, so he was really enjoying the regular Mario 3 content. Yeah, we want to create more content. We got to create more content. That's right, Irv. We got to create more content for this, instead of just me jumping on here for 30 minutes. We enjoy Mexican Dr. Xavier. Mexican Professor X. That's right. That's something I didn't even get into, the whole census thing. We'll say that for next time. As always, remember, you can always find us right here every week, Monday night, right here on Facebook Live. You can listen to this on audio after the fact via SoundCloud, via iTunes, via Stitcher, via Pandora, through many different providers. Where you can find us on iHeartRadio. Dr. Xavier. Yeah, the freshly shorn head. That freshly shorn last night. I want to make sure I was bald for the show instead of rocking my pandemic beard and my pandemic hair. If you want to join Daniel and Art and Ryan and being patrons of the show, our Patreon page, you can find us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dre's Geek Philosophy. You can just search for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. If you want to help contribute, if we get more patrons, we're gonna create more exclusive content, and I might give away a game every month. If that money starts flowing in, I'm like, hey, I'll put it right back into our fans. We'll turn it right back around, because that's how it works. I can go buy games from work and turn it back to you guys if we get to that point where I can do that. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. Buy some cool retro games. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if we get more patrons. If we get more, and we're up to 3 now. Hey, the show can now self-sustain. It's awesome. That's really good, especially since we got the kid over here. You can always follow me on Twitter at DreGP Podcast. If you go to my Twitter account right now, last week there was a thing on Twitter where you posted up your celebrity, mundane celebrity, I forgot what it, mundane celebrity encounters. I don't know why encounters. Thank you, mundane celebrity encounters. I posted a whole bunch of them because of all those years working for Nintendo. I've run into a lot of celebrities, so I was posting up all the fun little mundane encounters that I could remember, and I think I had a bunch more. I was literally doing them at 1 a.m. while I was keeping my son asleep so my wife could sleep. I was just like, oh, Mundane Celebrity Encounters? I got a bunch of those. I think I posted up my George Lopez one. I posted up my William Fichtner one. I posted up my John Carpenter one. Yeah, Twitter, at DreGP Podcast. That's the same for our Instagram and our YouTube, Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast. That's where you find some of our gaming videos on there as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back here next Monday. Work's slowing down, so I might post a couple of gaming videos this week. I hope I have one in the can. I haven't had. I might have time to edit it and post it up on YouTube and flip it back over here. And again, hey, reach out to me if you want to do the Zoom calls, and I want to do quick Zoom calls. I can't be spending an hour and a half on Zoom because I got a wife and a kid I got to help take care of. So if you want to keep helping contribute to the content of the show, we're going to keep growing this. We've got to get those numbers up. These are rookie numbers. We've got to get the numbers up. I caught a little bit of the Wolf of Wall Street the other day, so now I got the get the numbers up. Got that Matthew McConaughey. Going out of my mind here. Oh, no, before I end the show, I have to say, I can't believe I forgot to write this down in the freaking format. I got to take a couple minutes and tell you guys. So this past Saturday, my wife was throwing up a bunch of stuff on Disney Plus for me and the little guy to watch because we use her phone to connect to my smart TV. We threw on. I'm like, oh hey, let's put on Onward, the recent Pixar film that was an unfortunate. It got taken out of theaters too very quickly because of the pandemic. So I'm like, oh cool, Onward's on Disney. It's been on Disney Plus for like a month now. Hey, let's throw that on. I would like to see that movie. Immediately realizing my mistake. 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is a Pixar movie. Oh no. No. I can't be watching Pixar movies right now. No, I'm a freshly minted father. No, that's not good. No, I mean, the movie was good, but for my emotion, I've been susceptible to a lot of hashtag Dre's daddy issues or hashtag Dre's a daddy now. So now stuff hits me in a very different way. So while I'm holding my son, I'm watching this movie Onward. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's totally a whole lot of daddy issues and son issues and brother issues, and I would just get Pixar. How dare you? How dare you? I was like sitting there with my little boy in my arms. He was asleep on my shoulder, and I was watching the movie, and I was just like, oh god. End of the movie. No, spoiler for the end of the movie. I was just losing it, and my wife was just like, she was enjoying it in a positive way. She loved the fact that the human emotion that was pouring out of me as the end of the flick was happening. All the events at the end. I was like, oh yeah, dang it, Wong. I miss being dead on the inside. Yeah. Even pre-child, I some stuff like Pixar movies could be. I still can never watch Up. I know for a fact. I can never ever watch Up. I can never ever. I own that movie. I can never watch it because I know I will just be a bloody mess 15 minutes in. I'll just go Bonzo. Pixar. Like the people who work at Pixar, they must have so many daddy issues and family issues because these movies just pull at the heart. All I could think about was my little boy. I'm like, oh my god, what would it be like for my little man if I was gone? That's all I could think about as I was watching Onward because you had Spider Boy. God, why can't I remember his name? All I know him is Peter Parker, Tom Holland, and then you had freaking Star Lord, freaking Chris Pratt on a like brother journey to finish the spell to bring back their dad for one day, so they can have one last moment with their dad. And I was just like, I wasn't even thinking about my own father. I was thinking about myself and my son. I'm like, oh God, what if he loses me? Oh, what's my son gonna do? Gone emotionally. Just stuff just hits so differently now. And I can't. I have to tread carefully on Disney Plus because. Disney, they love to kill parents. They spent a good 30, 40 years killing moms. So now these recent movies, they've been killing dads. So hey, no one is safe. It's tough to be dead on the inside when you have a little life right here, my little smiling boy. I was like, oh, good God, what have I done? What have I done? But no, it's good to know that the love for my little boy is so pure that it causes me such pain when I think about all those crazy stuff. Damn you, Pixar! Damn you, Pixar! Curse them in their Emeryville offices up in Northern California. Damn them! Damn them! Thank you for watching. I had to get that story out. I can't believe I forgot to write it down in the format. That was gonna be the original closer. Now it is the closer. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back here live next week. Hopefully we'll have some other content this week as well. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Take care.